Hey everybody, I am Mike and this is Mike's Reef Tank. On today's episode, we're going to do a 75-day update on my Nano Reef aquarium. We're going to talk about my inverts, my corals, and my fish. All right, let's start with a coral update. So we'll go from first editions to latest editions, starting with our toadstool leather, the Montipore, and the zoanthids. Let's zoom in on this toadstool leather. It's been doing great. It's about doubled in size since it was first introduced into the aquarium. I have noticed that there is a little aptasia starting to grow in there. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna take care of that if I wanna do the nudibranch that eats only nothing but aptasia, but I'm kind of concerned about that because once that aptasia is gone, it has nothing to eat. What am I gonna do with it? Maybe try peppermint shrimp to see if they'll take it out. Unfortunately, sometimes with peppermint shrimp, depending on the species, they'll eat the aptasia or not. So I'll keep you guys updated on where I go with that. Next, let's go down here. Let's take a look at these zoos. This zoofrag was picked out by my son. It's got 3 types on it. It's got this one that's got like a little bit of like a white with an orange dot in the middle. It's got this one over here with the orange skirt and a little bit of like a bluish white in the middle. And then there's a couple of these ones with the green skirt. Let's see if we can get that focused a little bit better. Yeah, this one with the green skirt and more of a like a purple center. And they've started multiplying, not crazy multiplying. They've got probably 5 or 6 new polyps. Hopefully they're gonna start growing out and taking over this entire peninsula. Might end up adding some different zoos. I've been really wanting to get some of the designer zoos like the Fruit Loops and the Rastas, and maybe I can get that to take over just not only just this peninsula, but then come on up to this side of the rock. Yep, and then next we got the Monty. There's my Montipora. I got this frag for 10 bucks. And I was like, you know what? I've never had luck with SPSs in my other tanks, but for 10 bucks, why not take the gamble? And it's doing really good. I'm starting to actually get growth on this thing. The polyps are a lot more well known now. I can see them a lot better. I've been taking gradual pictures like every other week just to see how it's doing, because when it first got put in the tank, it wasn't the best. It has a lot of white on the outside, but it's all gone. It's covered in tissue now and it looks really great. Montipora. All right, the next coral we introduced to the tank is this frog spawn frag. It is doing really good. I put up a short recently that it looks like it's starting to split heads at the top. The tissue's starting to pull to the left and the right, which makes me think it's splitting. And also, let me see if I can get this zoomed in here. I was able to also see that, you can see one right there. There are heads growing all over the stalk, right all over the skeleton structure. I counted at least 4 just on this side. And if you go around, there's some more. You can see one in the back there. Yeah, so this one's definitely doing good too. I'm excited about that. I love my euphyllias, and frog spawn's my favorite. Next, we introduced some xenia, some pulsing xenia. So I moved that. Originally it was in the back corner of the tank, but I decided I wanted something up in the front over here in the corner. So yeah, here's my pulsing xenia. It started with just 1 piece, and then within a couple weeks, it's already multiplied into 3 pieces. So I have it on 1 rock to try to isolate it so it doesn't try to take over the entire tank. I do have it a little close to this rock right here, so I might need to move it away a little bit so it doesn't jump over. Yeah, it's doing really good in the aquarium. Next update, we got, let's see if we can get around here. All right, next we got this little mushroom coral. I saw this green mushroom in a basket in one of the frag tanks at my local store. I went ahead and purchased it. It's decided to attach itself to this rock, and it's liking partial shade from this bigger rock next to it. And it hasn't really done any repopulating. It hasn't tried to split or anything, but it's doing well. It's spreading out pretty wide in the aquarium. All right, for the most recent addition coral I got in this tank, family went up to Lancaster recently to do Dutch Wonderland, and we decided to stop by that fish place on the way home, and I ended up getting this piece of rainbow Passiflora, my second SBS added to the aquarium, and it's supposed to be an easy one. Actually, some people feel like it's a xenia and can be a nuisance. This coral is able to drop polyps and then repopulate in your aquarium in different places, maybe places you don't want it to be in. But you know, I like it. It's really cool. It's got some nice coloring to it. I'm hoping it gets big. All right, and that's it for corals. Let's do an invert update. My tank has got a lot of different kinds of species of snails in here. So I started, you know, with the Nassarius snails and some Cerid snails. Since then, I've added some Trochus, some Nerite snails, and some Astrea snails. So I've got, what, 5 different species of snails in my tank right now. Yeah, and they all have their own purpose. They're doing their thing. My green hair algae is starting to come under control. The Nerite snails are supposed to help with cyano. We'll see how that goes. What else do we got? Oh yeah, if you can see underneath, we got my pincushion urchin. He's been a little bulldozer running around, taking all the empty shells. I had to pull 2 snails off him earlier today. He has actually been taking the paint off my life rock, which is interesting. I had to make sure to do some research and make sure that's not harming him, but it's not. Hopefully I'll get some coralline algae growing in here, and that can fill in those white spots. I noticed some coralline on some of the Astrea snails, so at least I know it's been introduced to the aquarium. I've thought about maybe buying the coralline algae in a bottle. I know you can buy purple and pink species. I'm debating on it just to try to promote it more in the aquarium, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know if I decide to do that and maybe give you guys a review on it. What else we got in here for inverts? We got 2 blue hermit crabs. There's one right down there. Haven't gone heavy on hermits because I didn't want, you know, food sources to get scarce, and then they decided to start eating my snails. So I've been a lot more heavy on snails than hermits. I'm not a firm believer of putting 1 per gallon for each of those, because trying to keep a food source to keep 20 snails and 20 hermits in here would be crazy. And I don't want, you know, things to go, you know, off the walls. So, you know, I'm just adding as needed. If you look down in this cave, let's see if I get a little bit. This is where my pistol shrimp's been living. I've caught him on video maybe once since he's been in there. I hear him a lot. He makes a very distinct sound when he closes his claw. But yeah, he's made a network of tunnels. There's different spots. Let's see. One there. He's got one in there. One down there. He had some on the other side of the tank, but I kind of accidentally covered those up when I was cleaning the sand. And he's just burrowing away. I'm hoping one day that him and the Watchman goby will team up, but unfortunately right now he's there. My Watchman goby is taking up residence down in here. And he's hiding right now because I'm close to the tank. He's kind of shy. But yep, let's do fish since we're on to that. Oh, one thing I forgot. We did have a casualty in the inverts. My skunk cleaner shrimp Jacques has passed. I don't know what happened. My parameters have been all great. He just started not looking well, and then one day he was gone, so I'm assuming that he passed, and then the Nassarius snails took care of the rest. All right, back to fish. So we have this yellow Watchman goby. He's hanging out down there shy of the camera. Another crazy thing I'm trying to figure out what to do with is my original Watchman goby, I thought passed away. I couldn't find him in the tank. I thought maybe he jumped out, maybe the cats got him. But guess what? I'm doing a tank cleaning. You know, I do my weekly water change and decided it's time to scrape the back of the sump because the hair algae was getting crazy back there. So I come down a little bit later after doing the water change and I saw him. He's back in my sump. I haven't been able to rescue him yet. And if I do rescue him, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do because everything I read says that you shouldn't have two Watchman gobies together in an aquarium. They're gonna fight unless they're a mated pair. So I think the next day, which I believe is gonna be Tuesday tomorrow, I'm gonna talk to my live fish store locally and see maybe if I can rehome this Watchman goby to them, because I don't want these guys to fight in the aquarium. And I feel bad that he's stuck back in my sump. Trying to figure out some way to catch him because he loves to, once I go for him, he goes right underneath this part right here, which is below my refugium and the 3-chamber filtration. And I just can't get to him. So I'll let you guys know if I end up getting him and if he gets rehomed back to my live fish store. All right, back with fish. Only other fish we have in this aquarium at this moment is we got the 2 clowns that we started with, and they're doing awesome. They're starting to do some little behavioral things like submission. I believe the big one's just trying to make sure the little one knows, hey, I'm gonna be the female, you're gonna be my male. But they are definitely excited. They were hanging out a lot with each other. I was worried about them not pairing up, but it seems like they're on their way to doing that. Really excited about that. What else we got? Yeah, let's do an all tank update right now. So first thing we have is diatoms. Took care of those with the copepods. They really did a great job with those. And then the trochus snails really helped with cleaning the rock off. Then we got some hair algae. It's not too bad right now. Been working with that, putting in the correct inverts to take care of that, and doing my water changes, and been doing a lot of manual removal. Then we had a lot of cyano in the sand. I went ahead and decided to increase my flow, so I added the wave maker. That thing's been awesome. I did some manual removal, and I added the Microbacter 7 to be able to give more bacteria strains into this aquarium to hopefully help with that. So we're looking a lot better. I'm excited. I'm hoping that this thing gets, keeps evolving and then becomes its own little ecosystem. There's also some other cool things I've noticed. I don't know if I can find any for you right now, but I've definitely got some amphipods starting to grow in the aquarium, which I believe they must have hitchhiked on the Cato that I put in the refugium, because I didn't introduce amphipods to the aquarium. The only thing I've introduced is copepods from Dinks Aquatics. And then another thing I noticed were these little tiny snowflake looking things on my glass. I'll see if I can get a picture up on the screen for what they look like. I don't see it in the glass now because I just recently scraped the glass. But they're supposed to be related to jellyfish. And let me see if I can get the name for you guys. I believe they're called Medusa hydroids. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what these things are. Alright, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps to support this channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to see, the past to the now, you can always go back and look at my 40-day update video, and you can be able to do that comparison between, what what the tank growth was from 42 to 75. If you are having issues with hair algae, diatoms, cyanobacteria, I've got videos for all of those to do them the natural way without having to use any chemicals. So I'll go ahead and I will put the 42 video at the end of this one for you guys to be able to click on, and I will put in the description how you can get to the playlist to see all those different videos about the nuisance algae. All right, as always, you guys have a great day and hope to see you again. See ya.